MMA fans. I'm here with UFC fighter, Mr. Nick Motta. Hello, Nick. How are you today?
I'm good. I had a good session of training early, and now I just came home to do the interview with Sherdog.
Oh, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time today. How was your morning session and what did you do?
It was a great morning session. I went to the UFC PI, and I worked with my head coach Ray Seffo. And after I went to Extreme Culture and I trained Jiu-Jitsu with my other coach Jake Shields. So everything's going great. Everything's on point, and I'm ready for next week.
I actually saw some interesting pictures on your Instagram account. You uploaded some photos with Paulo Costa, if I'm not wrong here. Uh, did he tell you the recipe for his secret juice?
Yeah, I think the recipe for the secret juice is just hard work. We come from the same state, me and he and Glover Teixeira,
Ooh,
and people from our state. We work super hard. Our states call it Minas Gerais. I
yeah,
think they say. I think the most of Brazilians that live in America are from our state, and maybe it's because we have the hard work mentality, just like people have had in America too, and we like them. We all like American culture, and we have a lot of the Brazilian immigrants in America are from our state.
that's nice to hear. And of course, some great MMA names. You mentioned Paulo Costa, you mentioned Glover Teixeira, yourself. I mean, some great MMA names here. Did you and Paulo, I don't know, train together? Like, did you get some grappling session or just for was just the photos?
So I've been working with. So he came to Vegas and we talk, and he told me that he's thinking about do some training over here, and I told him that I've been working my striking with Ray Sefo, and I've been working my jiu-jitsu, my grappling with Jake Shields. So we Jake invited me to do, because we've been doing some privates with Jake, and he invited me to train with him and Paulo, and also Paulo invited me to train with Dan. So it was good. Was a good session. Jake Shields is an MMA legend, and it makes me happy because I grew up watching him fighting Strike Force. For me, he's like one of the most legendary jiu-jitsu guys in MMA, and it's a pleasure to be working with him. Just like it's a pleasure for me to work with Ray Sefo, because I also grew up watching him, and I'm living a dream right now.
Were you there? I mean, I saw some videos this week. Of course, we're recording this interview during the UFC 279 fight week. Were you there when Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev had that exchange that, you know, they kind of had a little beef, a little verbal beef? Were you there?
Yeah,
May I ask you what
I
happened?
was. Yeah, I was there. It was me and Paulo. We were doing some jiu-jitsu drills with Jake Shields. Then I think Khamzat was from outside looking, and he started saying something, and then Paulo started saying back, and he stand up, and like Khamzat, he had like a lot of guys with him, maybe 10 or 15 guys with him, and he was like outside, and they started to egg him, and yeah, it was crazy.
Nothing happened though, right? They didn't touch each
Yeah,
other,
nothing
just talk.
happened, just words. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that will be quite a fight. Hopefully, it will happen one day. Who knows? But right now, let's focus on yourself. You have a fight coming, and is the upcoming clash with Cameron VanCamp on September the 17th. Uh, you told me that you're training at Extreme Couture. Who are some of your main sparring partners for this one?
I did work a lot with Matt Burnell.
Oh,
He's a great fighter. He has great boxing, great wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. We work super hard together. We had a good group. Uh, Coach Dennis Davis is also a great coach. He was supposed to be with me for this fight, but he couldn't go because he's going to Mets fight in Ireland in Bellator. So he could come for my fight. He won't be with me in my fight. And I had a great camp. In Extreme Couture is like full of beasts. I work with Max. He fights in Bellator too. He's one of the best wrestlers in the academy. I work a lot with Ray Sefo, and lately also I've been having some help from Sari Bull. Is
The PFL.
that
Yeah.
Swedish guy that is in the PFL finals? Yeah, I had a lot of great work. Coach James Gifford, he always helped me since I came to Vegas too. He put me under his wings, like when nobody knew me, and it was great energy. I worked super hard for this fight. I had 3 months fight camp, and I've been in Vegas for 6 months, super focused. My life has been only eating healthy, training hard, and sleeping. That's it.
That's a fighter's life. And of course, it requires a lot of sacrifices. You and Van Camp were supposed to collide last year, and I know that the fight was canceled due to injury on that occasion. Oh, what happened?
I don't know exactly what happened. I was supposed to fight Jim Miller in September last year. Then I was like I was about to make weight. I was in the hotel. It happens one day before the weigh-ins, and you guys know like we usually cut the weight in the night before weigh-ins. And I was walking in my room. I was kind of like anxious, like, oh damn, I can't wait to make weight. Let's go. And then my manager called me and he said, bro, I have something to tell you, something bad to tell you. Your fight's off because they say that they found something. They found some. I don't know if it's true, but they say that they found something on Cameron Medicals. I don't know if it was an injury or if it was problems with the weight cut, or or if they really found something, because they sometimes they can find something like on the medicals. I think I heard that that happened to other people before. So the fight got canceled one day before wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand the frustration on your part and on your side, sorry, and but of course the fighter's safety comes, it happened to him, it could have happened to you. So again, at least
Yeah.
for me, the fighter's safety comes first always.
Yes, I understand.
It is what it is, but right now you will have the chance to meet him inside the octagon. What do you expect from this fight?
I expect the same as always, and in UFC is a different level of competition, and I just have I just tasted that against Jim Miller, and that made me grew a lot as a fighter, and I think I'm gonna come back 3 times better than before now.
What was you mentioned your fight with Jim Miller. It was your UFC debut. Unfortunately, it didn't go according to your plans. You lost on that occasion via second round technical knockout. But still, what was the biggest takeaway from that fight?
The takeaway you're talking about, what did I learn?
The
Then
biggest lesson you took away from that fight. Or
I don't even know how to say the biggest lesson because there were so many lessons. I learned a lot from that fight, and you guys, I'm sure I'm gonna be a total different fighter in the next fight, and I have a lot of experience. I'm not like a new fighter. I'm kind of like old school because I've been fighting for so long. So I think I just have to use all that experience now and don't take too personal and make it happen because I'm good enough. I have all the skills. I have a heart. I have I'm good enough to be like one of the best of the world. Just like I always say, since I was 21 years old at the Ultimate Fighter reality show, and I was just too young. I didn't have enough experience, but now I have so much experience. I've been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you debuted in 2012. It has been a while. You had plenty of experience under your belt. How does it feel to be finally part of the UFC, considering your experience on the Ultimate Fighter Brazil?
It feels great. Like it's kind of like I went through hell and back. Was really hard for me just to be here now. Yeah, just to be here, I had to go through so much. I remember Bobby Green. He has some interview when he talks about that he went through all the emotions and he thought about everything and he went through so many things just to be here. And I think I feel the same way. I'm not trying to copy him or nothing, but I just related to what he said, and was a hard way just to be here. And I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
here
of course.
now.
You deserve your spot. You won it on Dana White's Contender Series in 2020. Yeah, of course. Did you have any Octagon jitters during your WWE? Did you feel the pressure to, fight for the first time in the UFC?
No, really, you could see in my fight since the walkout, I was like dancing and happy, and maybe I was too emotional. I think now I'm gonna I know better how to control my emotions, and like it was different than fighting the regionals. Sometimes in the regionals, you can use like your will or you can use emotions, but like in UFC, fighting a guy like Jimmy, it's a different level. So I learned it from there, and maybe one day, if he's still fighting, I can fight him again, and things could be different, just like Charles the Bronx did.
Man, and you got quite an opponent for your UFC debut. Jim Miller is one of
Yeah,
the veterans of this game. He has been around
yeah,
forever. So yeah, I guess it was a hard lesson, but still you can move there
yes.
from there and improve so much. The
I don't have bad feelings for him or nothing. He's a legend, and I respect him a lot. But it's still like a loss is a loss, and if I have an opportunity to fight him again one day, I think I just didn't have enough experience yet to fight a guy like him.
that, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Listen, the card on which you're fighting is headlined by the clash between Cory, Sandhagen, and Yadong Song. I would like to hear who is your pick for this fight.
That's a hard pick. They both killers, right? Yeah, Sandhagen, he does some different things sometimes we don't even expect, and he pull out some crazy finish. And I heard from some guy from Colorado that he's a super smart guy. And also I watched the Korean guy fighting, and he's super good. When I watch him fighting, it's kind of like he doesn't miss any punch. It's crazy. So it's gonna be a good fight. And Mike, this card is like so many good fights, right? It's a fight night, but has so many good fights.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. It is indeed a good UFC fight night. There are some intriguing matchups. Of course, you're seeing yourself winning. How do you see the win over your opponent?
That's a surprise.
That's the
That's
first time I
the
hear this
secret.
answer. I like it.
It's like the secret juice.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Nick. Before I let
Thanks.
you go, do you have any last messages?
Any message? No, just like always, I always put on a show. I never did a boring fight in my life, and I think that's the same thing that's gonna happen next weekend.
Nikolas, thank you very much again for giving us a little bit of your time today. I will leave you with a task. You have to ask Paulo Costa if you train again about his secret juice, and I will ask you again about it in our next interview. Just kidding.
All right.
Best
Okay.
of luck, my man, and hopefully I'll hear again from you in the future.
Thanks. Appreciate.
Have a nice one. Bye bye.
All right.